All right, Lidakor, you take us away.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game number 2 of Viper versus Wham. Spawning in on the right side of the map, it is going to be Wham in the Abbasid Dynasty with blue. And on the left side, I know you're waiting for this, Aussie. Who do we have on the left?
Spawning on the left side in the color red, playing as the Delhi Sultanate. It is the one, the only, the Elephant Man. It is the Viper. Why, I don't know why he's the Elephant Man. You know what? He's the Elephant Man because he's got that elephant in the middle of his town center. That's why he's the Elephant Man.
Oh,
I don't think he looks anything like the Elephant Man, though. Have you seen the Elephant Man?
No, I haven't seen the Elephant Man, unfortunately, but gotta love that golden elephant in the middle of town center. That is only something that the serious Delhi mains like Salami have.
Yeah, it's exactly the same one, isn't it? Yeah, every time I see the Delhi, I always remember the Salami. But well, I'm interested to see how this matchup's going to unfold. One of the things that we have been seeing a lot more recently, at least I say a lot more recently, it was one game that I witnessed for Viper, is he actually went Imperial with the Delhi and he got every single upgrade. And he was getting them in really quick fashion as well. Like, I'm pretty confident he had close to 20 scholars just pumping away upgrades. So, you know, we used to write off the Delhi in the late game and be like, Delhi late game, lol. But now it's actually, well, hold on a minute. Well, Delhi late game, it could actually be a thing if you make enough scholars for it.
And you know what the cool thing is with that? Once you are finished with all your upgrades, you can just pop out the 20 scholars and you can heal your elephants with lightning speed.
I thought you were going to say you can pop out your 20 scholars and delete them. But I guess they do take up population space, but I guess they're also pretty efficient when it comes to healing. And those elephants in particular, they're very efficient for population space. But I want to take a look at what the opening here is for Viper. I'm suspecting it's the pretty standard opening that we do see out of the Delhi. He's going to have the Wi-Fi extended out onto his buildings. We can see it's still actually, I don't think it actually meet or greets those the lumber camp as well as the mining camp. I think it's going to fall just a little bit short of that. We don't see the pluses above the head, but we might be on the perspective of Wham. But there we go. So yeah, only going to be touching.
Yeah, the
I think it's only touching the mill.
Oh, the lumber camp's
got it. Yeah, wow.
The mining
okay.
camp doesn't. It could have been better if it was in the place of that house. I guess Viper didn't want to delete that straggler tree. You see, there's a straggler tree that was chopped down, and he probably didn't want to replace it, and as such, he placed it closer to the mill a little bit, but that means that the mining camp is unaffected.
Yeah, so tough decisions. It's, you know, modern age problems, modern solutions, that sort of thing. But pretty standard opening coming out here from Viper. Wham already on the way up. It's going to be your standard opening coming out from him. I suspect we're going to be seeing a wheelbarrow, so get those alarms ready. I suspect we're probably going to be seeing a fresh food stuff as well. You can see he's got 4 villagers over on the gold, which signals, you know, all the typical things that you would expect. I think the question for me is, do we see a stable before we see a second town center? Because there is going to be a second town center. The question is going to be when it comes up.
I feel like you can go greedy and you can go for the second town center here. Like, if you go for a stable, what are you trying to prevent here? Viper isn't going to move out to the map until he has Sanctity. It's not like he's going to pressure you a lot, so you might as well go for a second town center straight away. And once again, Viper very successful finding sheep over here. And this is not the first time in this set that we are witnessing that. And that's obviously adding some extra benefit to him because, sure enough, both of these civilizations love to stay on the berries. But obviously having that extra buffer under your town center with food is nothing to be disappointed about.
Yeah, it's a great point. There's a lot of sheep underneath there. He'll be a very happy camper with that. It means that he doesn't have to leave the safety of that town center for a little bit longer. And by the same token, it means that he's going to be able to fall back to that town center in the event that things get a little bit too scary out in the real world. But we can see that Wham's now beginning to take stone as well. First villager is making its way towards the stone mine and going to be putting down that mining camp. We can see there's actually a whole bunch more that have come out. Hold on a second. And Viper going to spot this out, so he knows exactly what is up. And plenty of villagers out here on this stone mine. Going to be looking to gather it up. I think he's got 6 villagers out there. I'm trying my best to count it. It looks like a lot.
Yeah, it looks like 6. Now a 7th one being sent out over here. So
Jeez.
You see Wham is working really fast towards that second town center. In fact, he's going to have the stone a little sooner than he might have the wood for it. But I don't blame him for it. If you look at the location of that stone mine, that's still exposed. And Delhi, with efficient production, you never know if they pop out 1 or 2 horsemen to push you. It's unlikely, but it's not something that's impossible.
Age 2 going to be coming through for Viper now. He hits that age up and immediately drops 1 blacksmith. And is that a second blacksmith over on that north side? I think that's, yeah, that's 2 blacksmith. So no surprises there. Double blacksmith coming out for the Viper already in this game. So the next question is what is it going to be for him? Are we going to be seeing an infantry spam? Is it going to be archers together with spearmen? Probably. It could also be horsemen, but obviously on this map, the sacred sites down towards the south are a little bit closer together, so you can avoid going horsemen as long as you're outposting up those respective sites. But I guess the other question is, what does Wham look to do from here? Because he knows that Viper is going to be trying to take those sacred sites, and he has to contest them. He can't let Viper have those ones for free.
Yeah, this is a difficult one for Wham, because what is he going to do here? So if he goes for, let's say, a stable and starts popping out horsemen, Viper can outnumber him because he's got efficient reduction. Same applies to any other unit that Wham could be thinking about. Could be a combination of horseman and camel archer. We have seen attempts of doing that, especially if Viper goes heavy on the horseman. He doesn't have a ton of foot archers. That could be a possibility. I mean, come on, Viper. You know it.
Oh, he's being so rude. He's being so cheeky. I tell you what, I get so annoyed when people do that. You know, another annoying thing that you can do, and the Viper's going to do it right now, is pushing the deer away. Look at him. Watch him do this. He's going to push the deer away, and he's going to kill them when they're far away from the town center. He's so annoying. Viper, I'm a big fan of you, but you're making me... Oh, don't do it, Viper. Look at him go. Oh.
He even sent the second scout in.
Oh my
no.
God. It's so annoying, but, you know, at least it's not as bad as it used to be. It used to be terrible. You know, imagine carrying 10 food from here back to the town center. You're going to need to set yourself up with 4 meals to get that in. Jeez. Oh, I tell you what, if you're a Viper hater, you're going to be absolutely loving that one. You'll be on AoE zone just typing that one out. You can see the thread already.
And yeah, these are small details, and many people would say, oh yeah, it's like, some people might even borderline call it toxic, but the reality is that you just maximize every single bit of advantage that you can get, and this is what Viper excels in. These small little details, these high upside plays where he just takes the time, and he has the ability to take his time to do this. And that just stands for his APM, because he's got an insane APM. And because behind this one, he's doing all the usual stuff, but he has the time to also just push away that deer, focus on his scouts and that. And that's once again a bit of an extra advantage, and those small things build up over time.
You're 100% on the money. That really is, and it might seem toxic, but at the same time, I mean, it's part of the game mechanics. I don't think anybody really observes that as being, you know, outside the limitations of what should be expected in the game mechanics. It's just annoying. I think that's probably it. And I think, you know, up at this high level, going up against somebody like the Viper, if you're thinking, I'm going to go for a second town center nice and early, and I'm going to put it on my second hunt, maybe you should kill your hunt before you actually put the town center out there, because Viper's going to come, he'll kill it for you, and it's not going to be underneath your town center. But speaking of killing, we have got some units out already for Wham that are getting killed. The Wolf getting in on the action as well, looking to dish out some damage. You can see that Spearman trying his best, but now all over the map, we've got units that are coming out here. Spearman, actually 3 of them working together in tandem, trying to take down those horsemen. Indeed, they take out the first one. Second one might be going down here as well. Indeed, it does, and Viper actually taking some pretty ineffective trades here up against these spears.
Yeah, that was a bit of a mismicro out there. He was probably focusing elsewhere, but he's capping 3 sacred sites right now. Horsemen now coming in from Wham to try and contest that northern one. We do have to keep in mind that 2 sacred sites are very close to each other, which is not something that's common on other maps. So that's something that also gives a nice extra boost here on Lipany to the Delhi, because Viper can focus his attention to that northern one, because the other 2 are rather close to each other, and he's also voling them in. So Viper might limit this warfare into just a single sacred site, that one being the one on the north.
Yeah, that's a smart move by him. Obviously, he's got the mobility if he needs to, but by walling his enemy out in this southern region, it's going to mean that, as you said, the majority of the fighting is going to be up towards this northern position, and it means that he's going to be very happy with that, because it means that if only 2 of the sacred sites are captured, then he's getting a huge trickle of gold coming through. But one of the things to note, he doesn't have a lot of food stacked up at this point in time, still struggling with regard to his food count, so not going to be thinking about going castle at any point in the future. I say at any point in the future. What I mean is any point close to us in the future.
You mean foreseeable future, right? Looks
Correct,
like archers.
correct.
Archers are also out now for Viper, so he's got that trinity of spearmen, archers, and horsemen out there. On the other side, only spears and horsemen for now for Wham. He's just now dropping double ranges here, so a lot of commitment to feudal age for both players, but obviously this is something that Delhi is going to be more than happy with, because they do have 2 sacred sites, so Viper's gold income already at 400 per minute, which is pretty outstanding, I must say.
Yeah, I think the longer that the feudal age fight begins, I think the more it's going to favor Wham, because keep in mind, Viper ideally wants to get to men-at-arms. He wants to get to those tower elephants. That's really going to enable him to hit a power spike that is unrivaled. But for Wham, the longer that this game goes on in the feudal age, the more difference that second town center is really going to start adding up and going to be a huge advantage for him.
Yeah,
Look to see how much Viper...
Yeah,
we'll
that's
look to see how much...
especially because... Oh yeah, sorry for interrupting, but yeah.
No, you're right.
So one of the other aspects is that obviously Viper, if he gets to Castle Age, he can start grabbing all those Castle Age upgrades at the deli, and if you're stuck in Feudal Age, he's not gonna be able to do that, right?
Correct. Now we see sacred sites being taken, and it's going to be the central one that's taken, but all 3 sites for Viper are over in his possession now. It's going to be trickling down those gold resources. And keep in mind, even though the sacred site victory condition is triggered, it's not really what this game is about. He's not looking to try and take control and win the game right now. It is just about getting that gold income, and we now see that Wham is out on the map actually looking to deny that sacred site, has sent all of his units to go and do that, and as a result, Viper's now looking to actually put on the hurt in the blacksmith. The blacksmith going to be going down here. A Delhi Scholar coming out as well, looking to do up a bit of healing in this feudal age, and Viper still not yet clicking up to the next age. He's got 1,100 gold in the bank. He might be saving for a house.
He managed to take down that blacksmith, and that hurts quite badly for Wham, because he was researching the ranged attack upgrade on that, and now that was cancelled, which means that he is still lacking his archer upgrades. If you look at Viper though, his army upgrades look really good on the blacksmith. He's only lacking the melee defense upgrade, which is just now coming in, and the numbers also heavily favoring Viper over here, 46 army as opposed to 35 only.
Yeah, you can see the way the horsemen were in the battle. They were trying their best to get those spearmen to turn around and fight them. That way the archers are able to take them out. But unfortunately, Wham, being a bit smarter than the average chicken, he realized that it was important that he just retreated away and gets himself out of that battle. But interestingly, no horsemen coming out for Wham, or at least not a lot of horsemen coming out, no camel archers coming out for him. It's just going to be a bit of an infantry composition that he's got today.
Yeah, it is going to be a very infantry-heavy composition right now. He has given up on the horsemen. In the meantime, battering rams now coming in for Viper. There's a ram as well.
He's ramming the Wham. He is ramming the Wham. It is happening. This is not a good position to be in. Typically, as Wham, you want to avoid being rammed. But I mean, you know, it's occasional Wham's going to have to hit the showers, and it seems like today might be the day. Viper definitely getting excited.
Yeah, and this is getting concerning for Wham over here. He's up by 19 villagers, and his army is pretty decent. You see quite a lot of infantry here, actually, a lot of spears as well, and you gotta respect those. Those are Abbasid spearmen with potentially phalanx, but there's 2 battering rams, and this is a fight that Wham has to take.
Third battering ram coming in. Wham's issue definitely being forced with these rams. Now finds himself in a nice little choke point. The phalanx spears are actually coming out in force right now. Great little hold for him. He continues falling back. Look at the way he continues pocketing into these little choke points. He's doing a great job of just protecting these archers, and it looks like he's actually doing a pretty decent job holding. Of course, he is losing buildings on the front side, but still, his army manages to stay in pretty healthy numbers, and it looks like a decent hold coming out from Wham here.
Vam is holding this one, but can he hold the second wave? Because if you look at the army numbers, it's 2-1 right now, and Viper is knocking down more and more critical buildings over here. Production buildings, upgrade buildings, and that ranged attack upgrade now in for Vam, but no range defense, no melee defense upgrade. So the quality of Viper's army right now looking a lot better, and Vam can't really wait with this fight anymore because he's going to lose his production buildings if he waits.
Yeah, now it's starting to really see the difference between these two. He tried holding on. He managed to do it okay in that the beginning of that fight, but now he's really struggling, and you can see he's going to have the issue forced finally here as the horsemen make their way towards the front side. The spears trying their best to trade out with them, but unfortunately the archers on the backside are going to pick them all off, and now Wham looking in a very difficult position. We can see is about a quarter of Viper's military strength, and now it really goes to show just how strong the Delhi is. Who needs Castle Age when you've got feudal? When you've got the power of the ram.
And this is indeed just those sacred sites fueling that economy, and Vam is going to tap out here. He's being overrun by superior numbers. Unit compositions are the same, but Viper has all the upgrades. Viper has the power of those sacred sites, and Viper takes a very dominant game number 2 win over here on the first home map of Wham.
Wham, bam, thank you, Ram. Good game, goes over to Viper. 2-0 for him in this series. He's looking very strong in this game. I mean, you'd be a fool to bet against him at this point. He is just looking on absolute form. Very, very nice stuff from him. We can see the villager lead did start to move up towards that 65 mark, but unfortunately, Viper just really finding and identifying a great little timing push there.
And this is what makes Viper very dangerous. You take a look at game number 1, he played a super greedy game, 2 Town Center English into King's Palace, and only went on to be the aggressor in Castle Age and beyond. In this game, he went full AMOC in Feudal Age, just unleashed hell. He's up to 60 army, and that is after losing all those units in those battles. And you see, he's not just spamming out horsemen over here, he's going for a very diverse unit composition of spears, archers, and horsemen, and he understands that he's got the critical mass to make a ramp push happen. And honestly, I don't even remember when was the last time where we saw a very successful ramp push like this.
Yeah, it's been a while. I think ramps are one of those things that rarely come out. At least it feels like it at this point. A lot of people are trending towards a little bit more of a greedy style. But yeah, it's definitely been some time, and typically not with the Delhi. The last time I can think of it would have been Muslim on King of the Hill up against an Abbasid player where he was doing a tower rush. Longbows came out, and he also brought out the Rams as well. So that's pretty much the last time I can remember it. That was a couple of weeks ago. So